Work hard, get an education. Today, that may not be enough. What if you have 2 degrees, a bachelor and a master's, 3 jobs, DoorDashing, homeless, living in their car? Is this your fault? It's possible they're keeping a secret from you. They don't want you to know.
How well the economy is doing depends on who you ask and whether they have a D or an R next to their name.
The U.S. economy grew at an even faster rate, really strong, showing a lot of momentum heading into the final months of the year.
Grocery inflation is at its lowest level. Wages are rising.
The unemployment rate, this has been on steady decline since Biden took office.
Inflation has come down a lot.
Inflation is coming down. The U.S. economy has had a fantastic year.
Steady, stable growth. I sleep like a baby.
How long have you been living in your car?
Going on almost a year now.
Where'd you move from?
Texas. I've been out here for about 2 years.
How much was the rent when you first moved?
When I first got here, it started off at about $1,000. I had moved in with a roommate and I lived with him and his family. So I paid part of their bills, which my half was $1,000. Then when I got stable enough to get on my own, I moved into my own apartment, same apartment complex, and jumped up to $1,600 being individual. And that was fine, I was able to make it. I was working as an educator for a private academy called S Aspire. And I got a letter saying that rent was being hiked, and within the week it went from $1,600 to $1,800. And that was just out of my price range, and I was evicted shortly after. I'm in this car, so I park in empty parking lots that are public, that I can't be ticketed, and I just hope for the best.
Had you experienced homelessness before this?
Not fully on my own. Growing up, I did with my family. We were close to evictions. There were times we had red notes on the door, but we always managed to pull through one way or another. So being on that edge isn't new to me. Now, where I'm at now, this is a new experience. Having to be out, wondering where I'm gonna eat next, where I'm gonna bathe. Luckily, I've been blessed to meet some people that will let me use their washing facilities to wash clothes, and every so often somebody will treat me to a meal. I work with a nonprofit organization called Working America right now, and I DoorDash and I tutor. So with that and paying bills that I have credit card debt that I acquired since I've moved here. It's just hit and miss, hoping to make it to the next day.
You're an educator, so I'm going to assume you have a college degree?
I do.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated college in 2016.
What college?
From Baylor University and South Plains College of Texas.
Bachelor's?
I have a bachelor's and a master's.
You got a master's degree in?
Mathematics. I love numbers. I can't spell to save my life, but numbers is...
Are you good at teaching too? Are you able to get people to learn?
I've been complimented on my teaching style. My students seem to love me. They cried when I left. I cried when I left. How could I not? My students were my world.
Why did you leave?
Well, I wasn't getting paid enough. And when my rate went up for my rent, I needed to find something that was possibly better.
That led you here.
Yes.
So show me how your setup is.
So my setup is very basic right now. I sleep in the back seat. You can see my pillow, my blanket.
You don't look like, I would never guess that this is your situation.
Mostly nobody does.
You're educated, working 3 jobs.
Yeah, this is what people don't see. This is my clothes, more pillows. I have a cooler that has water in it, so that way I don't dehydrate. I have whipped cream in there. That's probably bad. Don't know when it got in there. Probably when my daughter was with me last.
You have kids?
I do. I have a daughter that's 18 years old that stays with her mother.
So that's your setup?
That's it. Had a storage, recently let it go because I couldn't make the payments on it, and trying to pay down what credit debt I have and trying to keep this filled up so I can go to and from work.
Do you have a car note?
I do. My car note for this is about $600 a month, and when I came down here, when I got knocked off my feet, I ran up all my credit cards. So I got that credit debt that I'm trying to pay back and just trying to figure out how to get standard again.
What got you off track, man?
Honestly, poor decisions. I met someone, thought things were gonna work out for the best. They were moving in and I'm gonna start working, and they just never did.
Is that why you signed up for the 1,600? Because you thought that person was gonna contribute to 800?
I did, honestly.
students.
I thought for sure we were going to be in this together. We're going to split everything down the middle. And it was great. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not the person that, oh, I need the money now. I was always raised, put your head down, work through it, and one day you're going to get through it. Slowly but surely, things started piling up, and I had a different car before this. It was wrecked, hence why I'm in this vehicle, so my insurance rates went up through the roof. And now I'm in this vehicle. It's a great vehicle, it gets me from point A to B, can't complain, runs well. I needed something to get me to work. And a lot of times at that private academy, I had a student that I traveled to their home because they had disabilities that wouldn't allow them to go into the school. And so if I wanted to teach them, I had to go to them. And I needed transportation because the academy I worked for didn't have transportation for us to go to the students. That was on our end. And so I needed a way to get to them and back, and I started working with DoorDash, trying to pick up extra income when I was off, because not just did I have my bills, but being a teacher, once our grant was out across all of the teachers in the school, for the supplies came out of my pocket. So that was books, that was papers, pens, pencils, anything my students may have needed. And a lot of them had disabilities like dyslexia, mental disabilities, physical disabilities that I had to contribute to acquire to keep them in class, coming back to class to make sure they were learning.
What happened to this person?
We separated, we split, and part of me feels guilty because I feel bad because I shouldn't have got them involved in this situation if I knew things were going to start spinning out of control. Had I known, I should have left them where they were. They had a good setup where they were before we met. But part of me being selfish said, come with me, let's try to make things work. We're doing great, we're going to build a life together. And slowly but surely, things started hitting the road and started falling apart.
Right. And you feel bad for them. You don't feel bad for, I mean, they wasn't even helping, bro.
But I still feel bad for them.
They're watching the chip sink. And you feel bad for them.
I do.
Where they at right now?
Right now, they're posted up in a hotel room, living life to their best, I hope.
So you don't even talk to them no more?
Off and on. The other day, I got a call from them. They were panicked because they had taken pain medications and they thought they were going to OD.
Is there drugs in the picture?
For them, I don't know. I know I have a past with it. When I was in Texas, I used to smoke black tar opium. I went to rehab, got cleaned up, and came out, decided I was going to start living a different life, got into education, worked with a nonprofit down in Texas called Communities in Schools, helped students at risk situations, whether they were being evicted, going without meals. And that's where I found my passion. That's what brought me into education.
So tell me this, it's early. What would you be doing right now?
Right now, we're in Goodyear. It's kind of dead. I'd be heading towards Phoenix where it's a little more lively. If I don't got a lesson to tutor, it's DoorDash.
How long were you using for?
I was getting high off of opium for about 4 years, between the years of 2001 and 2008. I went through rehab and got cleaned up. I was institutionalized in Big Spring, Texas at their mental facility because I went through withdrawals and major cases of depression where I tried taking my own life.
Do you still battle with depression now?
I do, on and off.
How do you handle it? Do you treat it with medication?
I do not. I write poems, I sketch. I think I'm some type of artist, but I can't draw to save my life. But anything to keep calm. I try to surround myself in public situations where I'm physically not alone, because when I'm alone, I battle with those dark thoughts and tendencies. I'm talking to somebody that goes to GCU. They've been a big support. A lot of the educators I worked with while I was here, I'm still in contact with. I write them, I text them. One of them, her name's Miss V. She lives down in Maricopa. She's constantly writing me every Friday, letting me know how things are going, telling me how my students are. And it's messages like that that let me know that I'm still needed. Mm-hmm. Because that's what I would tell my students, that I don't fear anything in life except for one thing, and that's being forgotten. That's my fear, that I didn't make a difference in their lives enough to be remembered when my time comes.
Do you know what drove you to the depression?
So what happened there was I came out to my family as bisexual, and there was a lot of pushback, especially in Lubbock at the time, that LGBT was not accepted at all. Bisexual might as well have been gay. And the rejection from people in the community, the rejection from the church, because I was raised in a Christian household, that we live life like this and that all God's children are loved. And when word slipped that I was having same-sex relationships, how quick people turned their backs. And these are people I thought were going to accept me no matter what. And some did. Sadly, a lot of it, though, was done behind closed doors because they were afraid of being ridiculed and prosecuted by the church.
When did you come out?
I came out when I was 15, 16 years old. Within, it was on my birthday, actually. I had finally said I had enough, because everyone was wondering, well, we don't see many girls in your lives. You have all these girlfriends, but no girlfriends.
So they were kind of suspicious anyway.
They were, and I had started dropping hints to my mother, and she was more accepting at the time, still had some minor pushback. But my father, he was a minister. It was his core belief that really shook my foundation, because here was a man that raised me, taught me to, quote, be a standard man, now turning his back on me. His words to me were, when I came out to him, or quote, "You're going to hell for your transgressions against God. And how could you turn your back on your family?" I was made to feel like I did something wrong, when all I was doing was being myself. When my family found out, one of my cousins came to me and she asked me, well, what made you this way? Because in her mind, something had to have been done to me to make me this way. Who I was, who I always was. She asked, was I touched as a kid? Was I raped? Did something happen? Did somebody force me? They needed a reason for me to be bisexual, because they couldn't understand that that's just how it was for me. That I was attracted to both men and women.
Did any of those things happen as a child?
There was a time way back when I was a kid, that I hardly ever talk about. Only a select handful of people know about it. That there was an issue once when I was younger.
How old were you?
I was 6 years old.
Where's your relationship today with your parents? Is it something else that people will probably say is, go home? You know what I'm saying? Is that even an option for you?
So my mother wrote me, it's funny, she wrote me last week that you should come back home, you should come back home. And this morning I got a message from my mother saying, because of a falling out over something and not reaching back in time, saying, well, I guess I'll just stay out of your life. You can do you, whatever happens, happens. You do you, stay away. That was this morning. I went from being the bookkeeper for my family when I was in Texas to not having anything. I would do my family's taxes. I would help them budget and manage income. And on the other side of the coin, I'm struggling here. I went from having everything to having nothing. I went from having a roof over my head in Texas, being able to go to any location in Lubbock and people know me and they know my track record, and banks being able to say, here's a loan because we know you're good for it, to not being able to get anything out here. And because of my situation here, even when I reach out back home to banks out there, they're seeing this eviction, they're seeing that I'm struggling, and now I'm being flagged as an issue, as a problem. Probably not going to be able to pay back any loans that I acquire. And with good just. They have every right to think so because I am struggling. I've gone online, I've applied for loans, those little ads that pop up. You might qualify for this, you could qualify for that. I've applied for it all. And I'm still getting shut down. Now I'm trying to figure out, where did I mess up? How did I mess up? Where did I make a left when I should have made a right? I know there was other issues. My poor management of my own funds, trying to make sure things were going to be okay, trying to put on this front that things weren't as bad as they really were. My actions are what put me where I'm at. Me trying to act like everything was A-okay. My coworkers and my students would tell me, hey, Mr. G, we see you don't eat. Why is that? Gotta go in and pick up this order. So this is the fun part of work.
This is how you do it?
It's real simple.
How many of these you do a day?
I usually try not to stop until I make at least 100 a day, so.
100 a day keeps the doc away, huh?
For sure, for sure. Awesome. I have a pickup for chai tea. Alrighty, thank you. Have a good one. And that's literally it.
How much you getting for this one?
This one is $6. DoorDash sets a price for whatever it is you order from where you order, depending on your location to the restaurant. Off of that total, they pay the dasher a set amount. And then you get the option to tip. If you tip, the dasher keeps 100% of that tip.
100% of it.
If you tip 50 cents, I get 50 cents on top of whatever DoorDash deemed appropriate for that order. So this dash itself is, I think, like $6.50.
How far we have to go to take it?
According to the app, probably about, I want to guesstimate, probably about 4 miles or so.
That's kind of far.
Kind of. So honestly, I've been thinking of leaving the DoorDash platform because if I reject orders, my rating goes down. So I gotta accept orders no matter what's sent my way if I want to keep my rating up. So
Wow.
right now I'm considered a top dasher because I accept any order that's thrown my way.
Are they abusing that, man? Are they, you know?
I feel to an extent they are, because if you're like me in my situation, you really don't have ground to reject any orders because you need whatever you can get. For me, if I want higher paid jobs, I got to keep my rating up. If I don't keep it up, well then certain jobs won't be offered to me and I kind of get screwed in the end.
Do people tip?
Some do, some don't. I try to stay out of the Mesa area, Mesa, Tempe area here in Arizona because they don't. They don't tip anything. And then what you leave as a rating, whether it takes me long or not, affects my rating. So for every bad review I get, it docks me a percentage, 1%. But it takes 3 positive reviews to get 0.5% back. By the looks of it, I'm dropping this off here at a school.
That wasn't so bad. That wasn't 4 miles either.
That's a lot shorter. I'm glad it was.
Yeah, me too. He just locked the door, locked me in, because my guest, out of habit, he used to hopping out of a car, leaving his car running, locking the door, and getting to it. Think about this, man. When you being a dick, being an asshole, being uncool to your DoorDasher.
So for this order, Dash paid me $2.50 and the customer tipped me $3.50.
Hey.
So that's how I got my $6 total.
Damn. So you saying DoorDash was only gonna give you $2.50 for this?
Yep. So I try not to accept anything less than 5.
So you saying that, oh my God, dude, that's even worse. Cause I'm thinking that, okay, we finna go over here for the $6 and they hopefully a tip. And if they tip, then, man, what the hell is wrong with DoorDash that they think that it's cool to send somebody someplace for $2.50? So theoretically, if this person hadn't kicked in $3.50, you'd have got $2.50 to drive to Chick-fil-A, pick up their food,
And then come back.
and drive it to these people wherever they at. And it would have been $2.50 and that's that. It's over.
Yep.
Damn, bruh.
You know, I was always raised, tip your workers, and I get it, sometimes you don't got the means to tip. But doing this, I try to tip if I ever use these services.
You have to.
You have to, because if you're not doing this, you don't realize how little you get paid for it. And people be like, oh, I make boohoos of money, I make $100 a day, I don't need to work a full-time job. But then when you look the wear and tear on your personal vehicle, new tires, oil changes, making sure you have the equipment to get hot food to them, because if you get paid by rating too, you gotta make sure you have the best customer service possible. This one's a $12 pickup.
But we don't know how much of that is a tip.
Nope, but I'm accepting it because it's double digits. I'd be a fool not to accept $12.
You just hit the accept button. You don't know where the hell it's at. You don't know nothing about it.
I'm just looking at the money and I'm like, if I can make it make sense financially, I'm accepting it.
You DoorDashing it right now. You call somebody that's going to pay you to pick them up from the airport today.
Yep.
Then you go to that other job and y'all going to work from 1 to 9 o'clock at night knocking on doors.
Yep.
How much you make from that job?
From that job, luckily I get paid $20 an hour.
20 bucks.
It's a union job, but downside to unions, I got union fees. And I'm finally getting insurance. So I got about $50 from my paycheck coming out every week to pay for insurance. So maybe I can get my medication.
Congratulations, man. Is insurance a big thing for you?
It is. I have multiple sclerosis and I've been without my medication for almost a year now.
When were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed on my 15th birthday. Legit.
That was a rough year, bruh.
Those 2 years were, they were special. I remember because I was in Children's Hospital in Dallas, Texas. I remember the nurse crying because she goes, you're in the hospital on your birthday.
And the nurse cried.
She cried for me. And I told her, I go, sweetie, you've given me the best birthday gift I could ask for. And she goes, what's that? I said, I'm originally supposed to be in Dallas for a baby shower for a family member that I don't even like. I said, but now I have a medical excuse, a legit excuse on why I can't go. But that is the best birthday gift I could have ever asked for. Because now I don't gotta go to the baby shower. I don't gotta see that family member. I go, no complaints here. I said, I'd rather be in the hospital than be there.
Oh, what are we getting right now?
We are picking up from Del Taco.
Del Taco.
Oh, here, I thought we
There
were
it is
doing
to the
Krispy
right.
Kremes.
You see it? Make a, oh yeah, go that way. Your medicine. What is it that you're supposed to take?
So I am currently on a medication called Ocrevus, or Ocrevus, whichever pronunciation you want. It is an infusion. It takes about 8 hours. So
You go for an 8-hour treatment? How often?
it's once every 6 months, so twice a year.
You haven't been in how long?
A year. So I've missed 2 doses
Do you feel the effects of that?
constantly. Sometimes in extreme heat, I walk with a cane. There is a cane in my back seat somewhere. I try not to use it constantly because I don't like people seeing because they think one thing or another. It's part of why I have a handicap sticker
Wow.
because legally I do have a disability, but I don't ever mark that because coming from Texas, a right to work state, employers won't hire you. They can't legally say it's because of a disability, but underlying reason is.
They discriminate against you.
So, Arizona, I'm still getting used to y'all's work situation here. I don't know if y'all are more accepting of people with disabilities or not. Y'all seem to be, so I might loosen up some, but I still don't tell people. Not until I have to. So,
Come on, let's go get the food, man.
let's go pick up this food.
We want to keep our ratings high.
Right?
Hey, when you jump out that car, you hit that lock just out of pure habit, don't you?
I do.
Because you just locked me in when you got out before.
My apologies.
But no, it's all good. I was like,
Because I'll leave it running and because I don't got time to turn off, turn back on.
yeah.
It's go, 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 go. Time is money. It's instinct. Hey, boss, here to pick up for Krista. Thank you. Come in there. Yeah, that is habit. Because like I said, I leave my car running. Usually I try to take someone with me if I get a chance.
Hold it. You got it?
Like my partner now, he loves to DoorDash with me when he's got time.
This is kind of fun, man, actually, to
It is. When you have someone, it is. When you don't,
Dolo by yourself is like work.
yeah.
But if you just rolling with the homie,
Yep.
kicking it,
Chit-chatting, shooting the breeze, talking shit, you just go with it.
right.
And it looks like I'm actually picking up 2 orders. I'm going to Black Bear Diner. I thought they were both here.
That's, you know what? I was wondering because I'm like, damn, you catching the whole $12 for this little bitty order?
I legit thought that for a moment. I
But
won't
so
lie.
they working us. They got us going 2 places for that $12.
Yep. And had I paid a little more attention, I might have seen it, but
But you have to hit that. You just hit you. That's another habit. You hear that boop boop, you just tap it.
yeah, because you have X amount of seconds to accept it, or else it goes away and your rating drops. Because if you miss a rating or miss an order, your rating drops. If you don't accept an order, your rating drops. If you're late, your rating drops. Whatever reasons, when it says rate your dasher, it affects my rating.
Damn. Hey, I see in some big cities or what stuff like that people dash on their bikes and things. Is that an option?
It is.
Like downtown, can you dash on a bike?
You can. But you might not get as many orders because people see that when they dash.
Oh, they see you on a bike.
They'll say that this dasher is walking or on a bike, and you may or may not get the order because they may or may not want you to take forever.
Right, they want their stuff now, huh?
Oh, everybody does. This is America. You need it now. What is it? Winsworth says, it's my money, I need it now. Same thing with the food. It's my meal. I want it now.
So we going to Black Bear. Black Bear is right here.
Yes, sir.
See, it's good you got me in the car too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But can we get to it? Yeah, you can get to it.
Oh, I'll find a way. I gotta jump curbs, I'll jump curb.
Black Bear, good food here too, bro.
Don't know. I go to all these restaurants, don't ever eat them because the upside to being a dasher, you tend to get a lot of leeway with where you stop and park.
Right. They ain't tripping.
Yeah. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
When you had the homies have people ride with you, do they be hopping out with you?
Oh, yeah. Or sometimes I'll tell them, here, you go do this while I make sure everything's good. Yes, sir. From Melody Inn. Yes, sir. This all? All right, thank you, boss.
We good?
Yeah, this is it. Compromiso. It looks like Melody's getting dropped off first, which is Black Bear.
So these are two different places that we have to. It ain't one person that's asking for this one and that one.
Nope. So it shows right here, two different people. Melody wants her order by 12:01, and Chris wants his by 12:09.
Wow. Come on, let's see if we could do it.
Oh, we can.
It's 11:48.
Make sure your seatbelt's on.
It's on, man.
Shoot.
So 12:01 for Melody. And if we didn't get there by 12:01, she'd be probably uncool.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them are.
But if you get there early,
I'll be lucky.
thank you.
Yes, if I'm lucky. Most of these people put, do not come to me, leave at my door. They want no communication with me whatsoever.
Wow.
And that's cool, I get that. COVID just happened, people are afraid of getting sick.
Bro, come on, man. COVID's over, bro.
Shoot. People still fear it. Matter of fact, the job I work with, I have to get tested every so many days. So I have 3 COVID tests in my glove box.
Do you, man? When's the last time you had COVID?
Last time I had COVID, never.
You ain't never had it? Did you get the jab?
I did.
You got the jab.
I did because at the time in Texas, I was Texas's voted most hated man.
No, you weren't. You, specifically you?
Because I worked for WHO, the World Health Organization, and I was the person that called and said, congratulations, someone in your midst has COVID. You need to shut down for the next 48 hours.
Dang.
I'd walk into restaurants and just the look on their faces.
They know what time it is when you show up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How important is your car, man?
My car?
Yeah.
Very important. I might not drive like it is, but if I lose this car, I'm SOL, shit out of luck. It's where I sleep. It's how I make money. If something happens to it, I'm screwed.
People talk crap, in the comments. Oh, you spend $600 a month. Like, dude, do you understand how important a car is to a person that has no place else to live? Like, they don't have a house or something? Because you can't deal with breakdowns.
A breakdown for me is going to lead to a mental breakdown because how am I going to get to work? How am I going to get from work? How am I going to make money?
How you going to get through that day? Your stuff is in this car.
Yeah.
This car keeps you from being out there.
For sure.
Walking places.
Yeah, and I do everything I can so I'm not like some of the people out there with the signs. And when I get a chance, you'll catch me. Me and my partner last week, we had coffees, we had waters. If I have them up here with me, I'll hand it off. I can't give money, but I'll give what I can.
You still give to people and stuff?
Of course. I'm a big believer in paying it forward. I'm all for giving to everyone before I get back. Because as long as I can keep working and keep making money, and I'll figure it out. because there's always someone out there that has it worse than me. So, got to. And that's one thing I instilled in my students when I was teaching. Because a lot of my students come from, well, at the private academy, were privileged. And I'll never forget, one of my students looked me in my eyes after throwing away a meal that he took one bite out of, decided he didn't like it. At this time, I wasn't eating lunch. I was really hungry and I really wanted something. And I asked him, I said, why are you throwing that away? He goes, well, my mom will always buy me more anyways. If I don't like this, I'll just send her a message and she'll cash at me and I can order something. I can Uber it or DoorDash it. It is 11:58 and we are actually ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule.
Told you we were gonna be here early. I ain't got time to lollygag.
Let's go.
And sometimes habits keep me back.
How come they didn't get their food yet?
Because they said to leave it at the door, take the photo.
Are you serious?
And that's exactly what I just did.
Can a person, after it's all said and done, like this right here, now toss you an additional tip?
They can. So I send in the confirmation image saying that I did drop it off. You get one more chance to say whether you confirmed it. Was it on time? Was it early? Is the food still warm? At that, they ask if your food came at the right temp. One lady once in Phoenix, she sent me an address that had me completely on the other side of town from where she was at. And I was in communications with her, texted her, called her, and after we finally got it figured out where she was and that the information was all wrong that she had submitted, she still went on and left me a bad review.
Wow.
She took me from a 5-star rating to a 3-star rating because of everything she said.
What's the highest rating you can have?
5 stars.
Is a 5-star. And she knocked you all the way down to a 3. And you had to work your way back up out of that.
I'm still working on it. I'm still not at a 5. I'm at a 4.7. 4.77. And I still remember her comments visibly because there was delay. The food was cold. I didn't follow directions. I went to the wrong location, not once, not twice, but 3 different times. And I sent that all into DoorDash too, saying this was our communications. This is why I don't need to be dropped. And they said, well, we'll give you the pay, but your rating's gonna drop. Because at that, she was fighting for a refund.
Wow.
We are looking
So
for
she
506. That is 22.
behind us.
It's behind us?
Yep. This 518, that's 22. You going for 506, right?
Yeah, 1150.
506.
Complete delivery steps, what do they want?
1204. We had to have this one here by
Yep.
09.
And they want a photo, so I won't see them at all. I will
Another
leave this there, take the photo, and come back.
That's what it says too, though. No contact delivery.
So, if we break it down, oh, it gave me the whole, what we made for the hour, $18.25.
When was the last time you slept in the bed?
Actually, this past weekend, my partner snuck me on campus because their dorm mate was out for Thanksgiving break, and I got to sleep there. Luckily for me, my partner has their roommate scheduled down to a T, and so I'm able to sneak on campus. I'm on campus so much, the security guards think I'm a student there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, is this something that you're going to be able to work your way out of?
I hope so. My overall main concern is my health, getting my medication. Because the longer I go without medication, the more damage I take to my body that I can't reverse. And so, like right now I suffer with neuropathy in my fingers. I've lost almost complete feeling in my left hand, and it sucks because I'm left-handed. And as you can tell, I drive with my left hand, so I gotta visually go off of if I'm still in lane and if I'm still on the right path. So, and then if I go to the ER, well, then I got that bill I gotta worry about on how am I gonna pay it. I'm not insured.
Do you have a Cash App?
I do.
A lot of times people who understand that we all need help sometime. And maybe it's someone want to pay it forward.
For sure, for sure.
So what's your Cash App?
My Cash App is SLG666.
Man, you have to get the 666 off of there, man. You're going to scare these people.
I did that intentionally because when I left the church, they kind of had this big push against me, and so I did it more out of spite.
You're a little pissed. You're pissed.
Oh, I was, and I just hadn't changed it since.
It's okay for you to get ticked off sometime too, man.
For sure, for sure. I titled this one, That Special Time. When that time comes, you know, that special time. The time when life decides to knock you down. That special time. It is that time you may find me sitting alone. In that time, that special time. Don't ask yourself why. Just know that it was and is my special time. I missed, stole, wasted, took for granted, and longed for more time. I loved you then, although I knew you not, and I love you now, even if you think I may have forgot. Know that at this time, my special time, I hold you close in hopes I am not forgot. So at this time, my final time, know it was a special time.
Who'd you make that for?
I actually...
Anyone specific?
I wrote in mind of my daughter, and yeah, my daughter mostly. That's all I can give her now because I don't have anything to give her right now. So I write her and I send it to her daily. Every morning I send her a message. Let her know that I'm thinking of her and that though I'm down, I'm still trying to get up.
It's your motivation.
She is.
Man, thank you for sharing. My brother.
Thank you
man,
so much.
It's a pleasure meeting you, man.
Hey, pleasure's all mine. I enjoyed it. Appreciate it. Felt great to talk it out. I really appreciated talking. That's all I needed.